Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel and the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series. That is where we are. We are at the end of February 1985, February 23rd to be exact. There are a total of four first run segments. The first third of the show actually used for the replay of the Chris Adams and Kerry Von Erich match from last week. So if you missed that, worth going back and listening to that. One Man Gang and Buck Zumhofe, probably I don't know, I'd say the biggest note, or the biggest thing of note here, as it relates to the One Man Gang and challenges to the gang. Of course, gang still managed by Gary Hart. Gary Hart having a plan to, I guess, insulate or protect the investment he has in Chris Adams, and the gang is part of that, or so he says. But Zumhofe, obviously a former multi-time tag team champion here in World Class, probably the biggest challenge the gang has had in the area. Gang obviously still able to clear house. Shoulder tackles do not work for Zumhofe. Shoulder tackles do not work for anybody with the gang. Gang really only has maybe a 2 or 3 minute match here, clubbing forearms and the like. Gang monstrous, probably legitimately 350, 400 pounds, big guy. He does manage to go and hit a big splash, and he's carrying around that chain. He's doing everything he needs to do, and just tearing away, ripping away at the face and all that of Zumhofe. Gary Hart on the outside, very happy with the destruction caused by the gang, and it's an interesting quandary when you have a guy like the One Man Gang. What do you do with him? And I'm actually curious when he starts to step up to the Von Erichs and the like. I haven't gotten to that point in the journey, but I'm sure it's coming. Anyway, Gino Hernandez against Mark Reagan is your next contest. Not familiar much with Reagan, the enhancement talent here. Maybe a guy who has been pointed as somebody who could be something, but not really familiar with his work. Hernandez carries the kid through a decent match, an enhancement match, but they trade arm bars and kind of the rowboat arm bar and all of that. We then kind of see the process of everything, and Hernandez sends the kid to the outside. Reagan, very basic match. I would assume him to be a trainee or a guy who doesn't have a lot of experience. I could be completely wrong. Does hit a nice monkey flip out of the corner, though. Don't see many of those. Starts running for a drop kick at Hernandez before Hernandez has gotten back to his feet, so that's a little sloppy. But rookie mistakes do happen, and Hernandez obviously gains a victory here. But they give him more in this match than is average. Hernandez, manages to hit the buckle off a missed splash, and Hernandez is a guy who really is quite, I guess, willing to take some shots and whatever have you. But needless to say, an attempted head scissors takeover does not go the way Hernandez has planned, or that Reagan has planned, and instead a neck breaker by Hernandez leads to the beginning of the end for the youngster with that Russian leg sweep that Hernandez had used in previous weeks. We also then see a Jim Cornette interview where he talks mainly about Sunshine and the six-man tag team championship. Cornette says that he has decided to sign up Rip Oliver, much to the delight of his mother. His mother endorses this assignment, and That will lead to the Von Erichs being compared to Bonanza characters, and also lead to the Midnight Express and Rip Oliver, at least Jim Cornette seems to think, becoming the World Six Man Tag Team Championship holders. The Six Man Tag Team Championships in the first couple of months of this year do not seem to have, without the Freebirds in tow, the level of influence that they previously had. We then do see the Midnight Express against Mike Von Erich and Brian Adias. Adias has had, I think, a couple matches back here, but not really been placed in major feuds as of yet, so maybe that's the plan here. He gets a lot of athleticism and chaos out of working with Bobby Eaton. Eaton, probably one of the best in the world at making other people look good. Mike Von Erich, who still, if you think about it, probably 2 years, maybe a little more into his career, made to look good by being in the ring with the Express too. Obviously, the crowd is very happy with this. Amazed that the Midnight Express, who've been here since I think November, December, so 3 months in, really have not seen any TV time with the main Von Erichs carrying Kevin. That just strikes me as a complete waste of energy, time, talent, whatever have you. Jim Cornette talks about that being one of the reasons the Midnight Express left the area, but that just makes me sad. But anyhow, collision by Bobby Eaton and Mike Von Erich, kind of in the middle of the match, looks a little awkward. But Bobby again makes Mike slow down a bit and brings the best out of him to the best of his ability. And that is a Bobby Eaton thing to do. Double underhook suplex, really well done by the tandem of Brian Diaz and Dennis Condrey. Looks really good there. Condrey tries to break things down. Big second rope elbow from the inside by Bobby Eaton at a point, and the Express obviously goes to town on their adversaries, much to the delight and excitement of Jim Cornette on the outside. I love how animated Cornette is, but he never takes away from the match. He's always talking, he's always working, he's always going, but it's not to the detriment of his team or the other guys in the ring. And I think there's something to be learned from in managing. The few times I managed, I was horrible at that, and I admit that. That's why I tended to stick to commentary, because I was better at it. Because there's a fine line of knowing where to get your spot as a manager. Bobby Eaton does break things down on Adias. Adias takes the majority. Well, I don't know that it's a majority, but more than half the match anyway. Maybe because he's back in the area and he has more of a cachet than Mike Von Erich does, or more experience. I don't know, but needless to say, the Midnight Express work over their adversaries for several minutes. Cornette does interject himself into the contest as we go to maybe 2 or 3 minutes left in the television broadcast. And then we kind of see an attempted comeback by the baby faces. A hot tag to Mike Von Erich, as the Von Erich hot tag is synonymous. Doesn't matter who the Von Erich is.